plus tights, tutu, shoes, hair ribbon, and recital costs. Check. $78 for baseball camp, plus equipment. Check. $800 for all-inclusive, out-of-the-box curriculum for your first grader. Check. $2,400 a year enrollment in your homeschool co-op. Or $8,000 a year for private school tuition. The amount that we are spending on our children's education is staggering. But how much have you actually invested in your own training to be the very best teacher that you can be for your children? Look, even if your kids are enrolled in the school system, they're still coming to you with all of their questions. They're looking to you to help them with their homework, to help them with their social questions, to help them with their responsibilities. Everything in life, they're looking to you. But what have you done to prepare yourself to show up and be the mother who has the answers for them? This job is hard, ladies. This job requires so much and is arguably the most important job in the universe. Your children and their children and their children after them for generations will speak your name in the breath of what you left them to prepare them for doing their job. Society relies on you to do a good job. That's a lot of pressure, but who trained us? CEOs get training, athletes get training, tradesmen get training, but where is the training out there for mothers? Who is out there teaching us how to manage our minds, how to manage our homes, how to manage our emotions, how to manage our schedules and their lesson plans and their moods and attitudes and everything that comes along with taking on the role of parenting and adding on top of that the responsibility of your children's academic development. You can't do this alone. Nobody can do this alone. I certainly can't do this alone. And yet we live in a society that expects of all of us to do everything perfectly, to do everything with a smile, and to come prepared with all of the answers. And that's just unrealistic. This leads to anxiety. This leads to depression. This leads to frustration. And honestly, this leads to just giving up. And this is why we have kids spending all their time in front of the television or being sent out to all of these extracurricular activities, camps, and whatnot, just for this sole reason of letting mom tell herself that somebody else is taking care of it, and she does not have to do it today. There's a better way. There is a much better way. How about we invest some of our resources into our own training? Let's move ourselves a little higher up on the priority list in our budget and realize that if we are going to show up for our family, we have to know what that's supposed to look like. We have to know that if we show up for the day cheerful, optimistic, prepared, then our children will respond to that. You cannot show up to the classroom ready to teach an obstinate 8th grader how to spell if you yourself have not mentally prepared to meet that challenge, to observe his needs, to make sure that your children are not just getting through the textbooks, but are actually learning as they go. There is a big, big difference of throwing $800 at an all-inclusive box set curriculum for your first grader and setting it in front of him and say, here, do this work, versus investing in yourself so that you show up with that curriculum and you know how to ensure that your student learns to enjoy the work, learns to see the benefit for himself of why he's doing that work, and actually learns from that work. All of that depends on you, the teacher. You can just throw that $800 at the box set and set it in front of him and expect him to come out and be a wonderful, well-rounded homeschool student. But that doesn't happen. The only way to get a well-rounded student or a well-rounded son or daughter is if you yourself are well-rounded and you know how to manage your life so that they will reflect your moods, your attitudes, your mindset back. That is the number one teacher. The number one teacher of any student is your attitude. It's your mindset. So let's take some time, because it's not our fault if nobody taught us these things. Now it's time to get a coach. Now it's time to do some training, because the training that is involved can be significant. You wouldn't expect an athlete to show up to the Olympics and to win the gold medal if he never trained or if he never had a coach. You know, a common reason that homeschoolers will pull their children out of the school system is because they say, you know, the teachers are well-meaning, but the training that is for their student is provided for the teachers is just not adequate, and their complaint is well-founded. Now that sword cuts both ways. If you expect your school teacher to show up prepared with that certification that says they are certified to be a teacher, you need to prepare yourself as well if you're taking on the obligation to manage your children's education on your own. You need to make sure that you are prepared with knowing how to teach. But while the Department of Education might see a priority in the academic side of things, and those things are important, we see a higher priority in management, in managing your mind, in managing your emotions, in managing your lesson plans, in managing your home, your learning environment, in all of these things, and understanding how are we going to show up to be the best possible teachers and to contribute these skills for the good of society, for producing and equipping the next generation to be truly great. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens by you recognizing that your family deserves for you to invest in your own